This is Jamba, and I'm here with another video. Um, so Wheat Boy, we're here again. He Wheat Waffles actually did a video maybe 5 or 6 days ago. I didn't I didn't do a reaction. I didn't even watch it. I just didn't. But this one I saw and I'm like, you know what? While I'm here, let me go ahead and just see what Weedy Boy is talking about now, right? This title, why is dating so much harder for men than women? Um, Before I even start this video, I'm aware, people, that neither women nor men give a fuck about dating being quote unquote harder for men. I already know that. So we get that. So he's kind of talking. He's that equivalent of fucking Homer Simpson's dad shouting at a cloud. Like no one gives a shit really about this. But I want to see what he says. I like Wheat's takes, some of which I might not agree. But let's just dig into it. Let's see what Weedy Boy got to say.
Options.
Wait.
The reason is options.
Oh, hold on.
Options. The reason is options. Women
Weedy Boy is so white. He's literally blending in with his environment.
have way more options than men, which means they have the power to choose which options they'd like to go out with, and any options that get left out, women will flake and leave you on red.
Mm-hmm.
Let me tell you a funny personal story from my own life. A experiment I like to do is whenever I am talking to one of my friends who are girls, is I ask her to open her Snapchat,
Uh-oh.
Instagram, and WhatsApp messages, and just take a look at who the people are in those inboxes. I've only done this experiment a handful of times, and only with my closest friends who are girls. I'm not stupid enough to ask it for girls I've just met.
Mm-hmm.
The pattern I've seen is clear and obvious, and I'd anticipate it to be similar amongst most girls. There will usually be one or two girls in her inbox who must be her closest friends.
Mm-hmm.
The notifications are from minutes ago, which means they've replied back and forth all day, every day. Then after this, there is a swathe of men, at least 20 to 30. Even
A swave? I've never heard that word before in my life. A swave. I'm gonna have to incorporate that into my vocabulary. A swave of men. Damn.
more if she scrolls down from months prior,
Mm-hmm.
the vast majority of whom are left unopened.
Unread, yeah.
I ask why she hasn't responded to any of these guys. She says most of them are just boring. This shows most girls have the power to ignore guys and still have them be interested. I wonder how many of these men have double messaged, triple messaged, and still got ignored. Girls have lots of options, so they have the freedom to ignore men when they don't fancy getting to know one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas for guys, most have no option, so have to put up with being left in the dark.
Well, yeah, because if you're so, because I know that some of the women, I don't think any women watch my channel. I don't know. Maybe there has to be. I don't know. But I know some women or people would ask, okay, why are these guys? Why would they be double messaging or triple messaging or quadruple messaging? And the reason is because these men do not have any options. That's like asking a guy who doesn't have a job, well, why would you apply to Target 5 times if they haven't responded? Well, he doesn't have a job. He doesn't have anything. So he doesn't have much. Like, so these men who are constantly messaging women, I mean, I guess besides their dignity, but that doesn't mean anything. Like, they don't have anything to quote unquote lose. So they can just, it doesn't really matter to them, so whereas women who, like, they got a lot more kind of, I guess, pride, and they're a lot more reluctant to just go ahead and message guys, especially messaging them 2, 3, 4 times, right?
Just as the saying goes, beggars can't be choosers.
Right.
I guarantee if a girl started being more receptive to any one of the men she has in her inbox, then she'll be able to meet up, get to know him, and eventually start a relationship.
Yeah.
However, this scarcely happens, and explains why many girls who are single have been so for a long time, and are so by choice, while for men it's because they have.
Every single dude, or the vast majority of the dudes that are in a woman's inbox, she can get into a relationship with. Those are facts. And I've always said this, and I've always said that, well, not always, but I've said it for the last few years that women are the gatekeepers to relationships, not men. And then men always no, oh, but I might do that video at some point.
have no options. I'm not saying this in a negative way, just observations from what I've witnessed in my own experience. Furthermore, if it holds true that most girls have an abundance of desperate guys wanting to talk to them,
Hmm.
it means most guys must be trying to get to know the same number of women and having their messages ignored.
Yeah.
I realized on reflection, I'm often that guy. I remember doing the reverse of this experiment and showing one of my girlfriends my WhatsApp inbox. This is what it looks like at the time, and as you can see, it is pretty much all girls. The letters in brackets shows how I met her, T for Tinder, B for Bumble, C for cold
Oh
approach during the
shit.
daytime.
And they're all checked, meaning that he was the last guy to send the message. And in some of the occasions, I think the ones that are blue, they saw the message and didn't reply. Wow.
My friend said, "Wow, you talk to so many girls. You must juggle so many of them."
No. What? No. What happens is that you get a lot of, and this has been me. You get a lot of, you've gotten a lot of numbers throughout the years, and then you're talking to them, and then eventually 9 times out of 8 they die. The text and the conversation dies out.
In response, I said, "No,
No.
because 95% of them are flakes.
Yeah.
They don't actually want to meet. I've met less than 10% of these girls.
Yep.
I don't think there was a single message thread there that I hadn't been left unread.
Yeah.
It didn't matter how I've gotten her number.
Didn't matter.
The vast majority of them would never want to meet for a date in real life. Some of them, of course, did. I'd say 5 to 10% of those numbers I actually had a date with, but 95% didn't. Some say cold approach is the answer.
No.
After all, many girls say they want to be approached by men in real life,
It's cap.
not just some dating app. But let me tell you this. I've met girls during the daytime and had really positive interactions with
Didn't
them.
matter.
And after several minutes, I've asked them if they want to meet for a date, and they've looked me straight in the eyes and said yes.
Yep.
But then when I go to message them later, I don't even get a response. This is the
You also got to understand that once you get into a woman's phone, like is this? That's not my phone. Where's my phone? Once you get into here, once you enter this thing, once you start communicating via this magical box that we call a cell phone, you're competing with a lot of guys, and and not just necessarily a lot of guys, but you're when your message pops up and you message her and it comes at the top of the this fucking chair is so squeaky. When it comes up at the top of the inbox, your name could very well be next to the guy who she's currently, having sex with, or the other guy who she's currently having sex with, or the other guy who took her out on a fancy date 2 weeks ago, whose house she's been to, whose house is way better than your fucking apartment, or her ex-boyfriend who she still has feelings for, or maybe her other ex, or like there's a swath, right? I'm just saying usually. So in that moment in which you saw her in person, things are going well because you weren't competing with anybody at that moment because you had her to yourself, like in real life. But then once you go into virtual land, um, you're just completely knocked out the box. Like you just become another. You're in the Matrix now. You know what I'm saying? This ain't Zion, right? Bad analogy, but y'all get it. Okay, continue.
rule, not the exception.
Yeah.
If you are a guy, you might be aware of this experience all too well. And it's frustrating, isn't it? But funnily enough, when I ask girls what they find frustrating about dating, they say many guys on apps don't even reply. This
Uh,
might be true.
Many guys on apps don't even reply. Well, yeah. I mean, if you are a dude who looks like Jacob Elordi, and you just so yeah, we know what this is. This isn't even 80-20 rule at this point. This is like 95-5 is what they're referring to. They're talking about that 5%.
to some extent, but what they don't know is that it is 10 times worse for guys trying to talk to girls. The average level of receptiveness is way higher among guys than it is girls. For a girl, if she wants a relationship very fast, it is as easy as being receptive through messaging and not leaving a guy on red.
It's as easy as just kind of as not disappearing, right? So yeah, not, like you said, not ghosting.
As easy as showing up when a guy asks to meet for a date
Yeah, it's
and
pretty simple.
not giving excuses for why she's not free. In the modern day,
A woman doesn't even have to sleep with a man to get a relationship from a guy. I would say. I would say. You know what? Honestly, I feel like it's more important for a man to sleep with a woman for him to get into a relationship than for a man. Excuse me. Let me repeat this. Let me repeat this. It's more important for a man to sex his way into a relationship to get a woman than it is for a woman to sex her way into a relationship to get a man. A woman doesn't need to sleep with a man to get a relationship. Not for most of the men in her inbox. They would be with her regardless of them getting it. Honestly, as long as they have the possibility of getting it at some point. But a man, in order for him to get into a relationship, she would have had to have slept with that guy first in order for him to be granted the access to even be considered to be in a relationship with. So some of y'all got that, some of y'all didn't.
provided a girl is at least average in terms of looks, there is no excuse for why she should complain about dating. If she's single, it's because she's single by choice.
Yep.
And there's nothing wrong with that. That's her decision. I'll repeat, I'm not trying to say this in a negative way, but it is also true from plenty of experience. Because if she has a bunch of guys she hasn't responded to over text, it means she will stay single instead of getting to know one of them. Whereas if she did respond to one of the guys she texts, then she'll meet up and be on track to start a relationship. I understand for some girls it can be overwhelming having 30 guys all messaging you at once, but you don't need to talk to all of them. Just getting to know one guy is fine, and if she were receptive to him, then she would get to know him and start a relationship.
But the problem with getting to know just one guy is that maybe what if they miss out on another guy who they perceive to be better? See, that's the issue. The issue is that they can't when you have that many options, this happens to anybody. It's like if you go into a store, you can only pick one item, but there's so many items for you to choose from. It's going to be very difficult for you to just pick one. So that goes with anything.
Here's another example showing what I'm saying. When I was initially getting to know my last girlfriend, she was super receptive, never gave excuses,
He's always
or
talking
if
about
she
his
did,
he's
they
always
would.
talking about his last girlfriend. Like, dude, okay, I'm going to playback speed. Okay, custom. No, no, not custom. 125. Okay.
Be genuine, and she'd always provide an alternative day and time for us to meet.
Mm-hmm.
She would never leave me on red and would put high thought and effort into her texts. This made getting into a relationship with her easy because she had equal desire as me to get to know each other. After we split up, I wasn't sure if she would stay single for a long time or find someone straight away. I should have known she would find someone fast because if she would be similar for the next guy as she was anything like with me, then it would be easy for her to find someone new. And unsurprisingly, she was in a new relationship the very next month after we split up.
Wow. I'm gonna no closed caption. That's a little too quick for my taste. A little too quick for my taste.
I believe this was all because she was a receptive girl who had a high desire to find someone.
Mm-hmm.
She wouldn't play games or leave a guy on red because she had a serious desire to date and get a relationship. I've seen the same with not just this girl, but many girls in my own life. They would split up with their boyfriend and find a new one within 1 month. Often someone they've never even met before, and it's almost all because she is a receptive girl who has a high desire to get to know someone. Here's another point. I've often suspected when girls say, guys don't do this, they aren't doing that. They are actually talking about the good looking guys.
Guys, yeah. Um, I don't want to say this is the last Wheat Waffles video I'm gonna react to because at this point it's kind of. And shout out to Wheat Waffles, man. I mean, he's found his niche. He got like 100, almost 200,000 subscribers. So I'm I like his stuff, but at the same time, I think that 'cause I think I appreciated his other content, his earlier content more with this whole slideshow and stuff like it was nice kind of breakdown. This stuff is fine, but it's really just the same idea. You know, this it's like Mexican food. It's like you want bean, cheese, and rice, or rice, cheese, and beans. It's like he's kind of saying the same thing, but in a different kind of way. You know, I think I'm gonna probably stop it here just so that this video doesn't have to render as long as it would have been prior. But yeah, I mean, I guess my point with all this, because what I said earlier about how people don't care is just that, yeah, people don't really give a shit, and I don't, I don't think I don't think that it's a good use of time to try to get people to care about this, including me. I mean, I like to talk about it, um, because it's interesting, but I don't think that women are going to learn this wow, and then change their behavior. I don't think that men who are married or in relationships are going to come to any sort of this is just something that is just going to progressively get worse. And yeah, man. Here's what I will say. This is the very last thing I'm going to say is that I would love to see Wheat Waffles on Fox News talking about this. I would love to see a guy like this on Pierce Morgan, on MSNBC, or one of those news networks, and actually talking about this issue about young people, young men specifically. I'm not one of them. Dating and how it is very difficult for both men and women, but especially for men. Like, and what are the implications of that? I will love. That to me is the next level. That's like the taking it from the YouTube streets to the news networks. That's what I would love to kind of see these conversations actually progress, as opposed to more and more YouTube videos of us basically talking about, or him talking about the same stuff, me reacting to it and be like, yeah, yeah. Good stuff though. The stuff is, decent. Um, and that lighting, man, yeah, and look, my lighting is not the best either. Like, trust me, I got this, I'm in my cousin's room, because I got the good Wi-Fi here. But that being said, y'all, this is Jamba, and I'm gonna come back with some more content, obviously.